Golden State went from being the favorites to being the underdog when Kevin Durant got hurt, and despite his future in free agency, it doesn't really affect his legacy as a Warrior and two-time Finals MVP. And now that he's had surgery on that torn Achilles, his impact on the court probably won't take place until sometime in 2020. Now, in Game 6 last night, Toronto proved they were the deeper and more talented group over the greatest team of the past 5 years. And that's pretty clear when you consider the Raptors were 17-5 without Kawhi Leonard during the regular season. Kyle Lowry paced the Raptors early on in the game, and 4 players had 20 or more points in the victory. And while Kawhi was clearly the best player in the series, this is actually the second time he's led taking down a dynasty, because he won a title in 2014 with San Antonio, which ended up being LeBron James' last game with Miami. Now, Leonard, he knows redemption of this kind is pretty sweet. Quote, "Last year, a lot of people were doubting me. They thought I was either faking an injury or didn't want to play for a team. That was disappointing for me that was out there in the media, because I love the game of basketball. Like I always say, if we're not playing this game, if we're hurt, I mean you're down. So me just going through that, and I just knew that I would have to make myself happy and no one else." Now consider what the Raptors have done so far in this year's playoffs. They lost their postseason opener to Orlando at home, and everyone said, here we go, same old Raptors. Then they rattled off 4 straight wins. From there, they fell behind 2-1 against Philadelphia, who was the popular underdog pick, considering the kind of talent they have. And then they won 3 out of 4 against Philly with a dramatic buzzer beater to end that series. And then came our Milwaukee Bucks, the top seed in the Eastern Conference, who quickly went up 2-zip at home with a chance to win Game 3 on the road after forcing overtime. And, of course, we know all in Wisconsin exactly how that ended. 4 straight wins by Toronto, and then they were headed to the NBA Finals for the first time in franchise history. From there, they just simply walked into Oracle Arena and won all 3 of their games on the road. What's more amazing is you have to consider that Toronto traded their best player in DeMar DeRozan last year and fired their head coach, who was a Coach of the Year candidate. And while nobody knows where the Raptors will go from here, it might be the end of an era in Golden State. Klay Thompson out with that torn ACL, and even though he's a free agent, his father said after the game there's no question he'll re-sign with the Warriors. The other Splash brother is confident their reign is over, only temporarily. Quote, "We played a lot of basketball," said Steph Curry. "Get away from the game a little bit, refresh the minds. Guys go through some rehabs and get back stronger next season. And next season will be next season. We'll come back with the right mentality." So it's kind of hard to talk about because it's a tough way to go out, and it's tough to lose in the finals. But the story's not over yet.